Okay, hello everybody. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in flysimware's Cessna Chancellor 414AW. We have a 157 nautical mile flight from Charlie Golf India, Cape Girardeau, to Sierra Papa India, Abraham Lincoln. The first is a freeware airport available on flightsim.to. I'll put the link in the video details so that you too can enjoy it. And the second is a payware airport. Should be an awesome VFR flight. So let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Alright, we'll start by verifying that our circuit breakers are all in on the left panel here and the right panel. That looks good. Our switches are all off. We'll head over here and get the fuel selectors for the left and the right tank on. We'll open up the cowl flaps, which are the two white levers down here. We'll check that the prop sync is turned off. It is. Now we'll head over here and turn on the battery master. We'll turn over the ammeter and put it into volt mode so we can read the voltage on the battery. It's sufficient for startup. We'll turn on our nav lights to let people know that we're going to get started up. Do an annunciator panel test. That all looks good. Check our fuel quantity left and right, and that matches what we measured in our pre-flight and is good for today's cross-country flight. Next, we'll move the prop levers full forward. We'll get the condition levers also full forward. Go over here to the throttle and crack it. Now we'll open up the little window here. Check that the prop is clear. Clear prop. That looks good. Head down here to the panel and we'll get all four magnetos on. The red switch is at the top. We'll prime the left engine. We've pressed the starter button and we've got ignition. Now we're going to watch the RPMs climb. Once they get above 1,000, then we'll turn the left fuel pump into the low position. Alright, it's a good engine start. Alright, we've got the left alternator on for the engine. Now we'll repeat the process for the right engine. So we'll head over here and prime the right engine. Press the start button. And once again, we're watching the RPMs as they cross 1,000. Then we'll head over to the fuel pump and turn the right engine fuel pump into the low position. And we'll also get the right alternator on for the right engine. Let's close the window here because that's kind of loud. Get the avionics booted up. We're running with the GTN 750s today. As we get that all dialed in, I'll open up for flight and take you through the flight brief. So we have a nice straight VFR flight plan. We've got NOTAMs indicating military exercises at our departure and arrival fields because we're near MOAs, so we'll be alert and use caution in those areas. We're departing from Cape Girardeau, which is a class Delta, and if we tap on the airport, we can check the winds, which are out of 200, and bring up the airport diagram. The main runway is 28 that's in use, so we're expecting to get taxi instructions to 28. On departure, we're going to look for our first waypoint, which is overflying Cape Girardeau itself with Jackson on our left. As we continue north, we'll come to a nice visual waypoint, which is the crossing of the Mississippi, so we won't be able to miss that. Continuing north, we've got Steelville as our next visual waypoint on our left, then Sparta. Then we'll be getting close to the St. Louis Bravo. We've got an Air Force base that's on our left with dual runways. That'll be a nice visual waypoint. We've got Highland, which has a NOTAM for glider operations, so we'll be on the lookout for gliders as we pass through that NOTAM area. Continuing north, we've got some small town waypoints to look at, and we've also got some really nice lakes. So we've got a big lake on our right that'll be a good VFR target for us to spot. As we approach Farmersville, we're now flying almost right over Interstate 55, so that's going to lead us right to Abraham Lincoln, and that's going to be around the top of descent for us. We've also got a nice giant lake right before Abraham Lincoln, which will tell us that we're right on top of the airport. Based on the winds, we're expecting pattern entry instructions of a left downwind for runway 22. Should be just around sunset, so it'll be an awesome scenic arrival. The reason that I picked Cape Girardeau is because I've actually been there in real life many times for work. It's also the setting of the Ben Affleck movie Gone Girl. And a bit of trivia is one of my coworkers who lives in Cape Girardeau appears in the movie. They were filming on her street, and she was sitting outside with all of the neighbors watching it. The assistant director came out to move them because they were going to be in the background of the shot, and the director said, hey, you know, I think this actually works for this shot because it's supposed to be a paparazzi shot where the whole neighborhood is watching what's going on. So she is one of the people sitting on the lawn watching the news crews swarm Ben Affleck. When she told me about it, she was very low-key about it, and I thought if I were in a Ben Affleck movie, I would lead every conversation with that soundbite. So awesome for her. Cape Girardeau ground, Chancellor 5 Alpha Mike with information Whiskey, Skybound Aviation, taxi for north departure. Taxi and hold short, runway 28 via Bravo Alpha, Chancellor 5 Alpha Mike. Alright, game on. We are running with live weather, time, and traffic, and in the background we have live ATC.net streaming. Unfortunately, Cape Girardeau is not on live ATC.net, so we're using the nearest airport, which is St. Louis Approach, which we'll be flying past as we head north. This is a fantastic freeware airport. Be sure to check it out. Alright, we'll come up to the hold short lines here and do a quick run-up. Check that our flight controls are free and correct. Next, to do our mag check, we've got 4 mags. Those are the red buttons up on the left here. We'll get our landing light on, turn off our taxi light. Cape Girardeau Tower, Chancellor 5 Alpha Mike, holding short, runway 28. Cleared for departure, runway 28, Chancellor 5 Alpha Mike. We did not ask for flight following, so we did not get a squawk code. Therefore, we're just squawking VFR 1200. A bit of trivia for Class Delta airspace is you don't even need to have a transponder to operate in Class Delta airspace, unlike Class Charlie, Bravo, and Alpha airspace. Alright, so we got 28 on the runway. That matches up with our assignment. I can see the windsock over there is a crosswind, but indicating a bit of a tailwind. And that windsock actually doesn't match with the one that we passed taxiing, so I'm not sure if the wind's just variable and changed, or if the windsocks are in disagreement, but we're on the roll, so here we go. Alright, coming up on rotate speed, and we are up. We got a positive rate, so we can bring our gear up now. Once we clear the runway, we'll do our initial turn to the north and continue our climb. Alright, everything is looking good, so let's sit back and enjoy that awesome flight simulator scenery. Alright, that was a fun scenic VFR flight with lots of waypoints to look out for along the way, and we had a fantastic sunset arrival here at Abraham Lincoln. Both of these airports are awesome, but in particular props to the freeware airport designer who made Cape Girardeau. That is just fantastic work, and it's filled with all sorts of detail and animated figures doing maintenance on aircraft. There's a guy standing in the tower that you saw, holding binoculars and doing some plane spotting. Fantastic detail, just check it out. So I hope you enjoy realistic general aviation flying like this. If you do, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.